Yeah, that's not me right now, kiddo. That was me when I was playing with Legos. Trying to figure out how to get to my current live stream. Oh, that's why. Because I have it as unlisted. So I do have to paste it over. Copy. Oops. Okay, well that's not what I was looking for. Maybe if I go public. Oh, my keyframes are off because I was using Twitch. 1 second. This is complicated. Oh, there it is. It made it. You guys ready? Is everybody back? Okay. Alright, guys. Storytime rules. You guys are going to have to be quiet. Okay? I'm communicating with them really quick, and then I'm going to mute sound on the phone. I'm waiting for acquiescence from my children in real time, if that's okay. Kids, are you there? Okay, you all know you need to be quiet, right? And don't touch each other. Yeah, you have to use your words. I can't see you guys at all. I don't have a camera hook set up there. Okay, I'm going to start reading now. So, quiet. Don't touch each other. Don't get in fights. Don't freak out. And here I go. Chapter 7 Discoveries. Okay, it's almost my bedtime. I need you guys to sit and listen for 15 to 20 minutes, and I think you can live without some stuff for that. Okay? Yeah, I love you guys, but I don't have a lot of time before I need to be asleep because I'm 2 hours ahead of you. It's already 9 o'clock here, and if I wait too long, I'm going to pass out. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? Chapter 7 Discoveries. So let us come to an agreement, Caruncle said over his breakfast. With his stubby fingers, he cracked the shell of a boiled knife-jack and consumed the stringy meat within. You both take care, you just, of whatever you want from your ship. And, Ava asked. And, Caruncle sucked out the last of the knife-jack meat. I take care of whatever is left. What kind of deal is that? Haley emptied a packet of Attican crystal coffee into his mug. I am not finished. Caruncle grabbed another knife-jack from his steaming pot. I will also provide supply protection with this. He pointed at his boom rod. And this. He pointed at his head. But you humans must tell me what your item devices are and how they work. Why? Asked Ava. I get more in trade sell if I am more knowledgeable, replied Caruncle. He dug his finger into the carapace of the boiled knife-jack and scooped out its organs. He offered them to Ava. She declined. We don't need your protection. We can take care of ourselves, Haley said, standing proud. His coffee sloshed and spilled down the front of his jacket. Oh, Caruncle can see that you are very good at taking care of yourselves. It is quite evident in the fine landing job you've done here, he laughed, and licked the meat from his fingers. You know what? That's it. Enough. Ava rose between Haley and Caruncle. Take whatever we leave behind. In return, you offer us protection, and give us a ride. Haley wiped the coffee from the front of his jacket. Ride? Where is it that you wish to go, Ava 9? Caruncle tossed the knife-jack shell into the fire. Ava walked to the edge of the camp and looked out at the horizon toward the wandering forest. She had to move on. It would be just a matter of time before Lorok's forces found her. Already she felt a foreign presence, likely warbots combing the forest, searching for me, or... How far are the ancient ruins from here? She asked. The place where I picked you up, Haley asked. No, we don't want to go back there. We want to reconnect with Vanpaw and Rovender, remember? Caruncle stroked his wattles and studied Ava. Why is it that you want to go travel to the ruins? Can you take us there? Haley jumped in. Ava, we don't need him to... Ava pushed Haley aside. Will you do it or not? I know a way out. Caruncle leaned back against a crate. But you must tell me why we're to go there. Ava looked over at Haley, then back to Caruncle. I can't tell you right now, but if you take us, we'll tell you all about our artifacts, your discoveries, so you can get more and trade for them. An interesting, curious proposition. Caruncle reached for another boiled knife-jack and began to eat it. Maybe I will ponder about it for a bit and let you know. That's fine with us. Haley walked up the steps to the hatch of the Bijou. In the meantime, I can go figure out how to. Tell me why you won't answer us now. Ava stood, her arms akimbo. You see that range out over there? Caruncle pointed to the line of jagged mountains far off to the east. Those are the Bleak Mountains, very dangerous land terrain. You must go north around the mountains, then south through the wastelands to the ruins. It is a lengthy journey. See, it's going to take too long, said Haley. I know that, Ava said to Caruncle. I've traveled the wastelands before. You need a hovercraft. Ah, right, yes, Caruncle said with a smile. Otherwise you become a sand sniper's meal breakfast. He pointed at Haley. This one would not last one day cycle. Hey, I can survive out here just fine. Haley stomped back down the steps. We don't need him, Ava. Ava figured she could keep the sand snipers away. Traveling by hovercraft was also faster than hiking or riding a wandering tree. Also, the wastelands were like a desert. They would need shade and water. With warbots hunting around, time was also of the essence. Well, she asked Caruncle, will you do it? Did you guys just move the phone closer to the TV? Okay, just checking. There's a shortcut, a pass through the mountains that would put us there in 3 sunrises. Caruncle held up 3 fingers, each glistening from the juice of the knife-jack meat. Not many know of it, but I, Caruncle, do, so I must consider whether I show you, and him. He pointed to Haley. Right, like I'm going to give up being a retriever pilot and use your secret path to find junk so I can become a garbage seller instead. Haley took a swig of his crystal coffee. If this is your piloting, then stay at it. You are keeping me in business. Caruncle laughed to himself. Okay, guys, enough, said Ava. Caruncle, you need some time to think about it. I understand. She picked up the smudge stick. May we? Of course, said Caruncle. Ava lit the smudge stick and walked over to Haley, who was still standing at the steps leading into the hatch. Come on. While he thinks about it, I'll help you look for your Omnipod. She followed Haley into the hold of the Bijou. The inside of the Bijou was unrecognizable now that it was lying on its side. Picture time. Damaged supplies were mixed with ship parts in sprawling heaps. Beams of sunlight entered through the gaping bullet holes that had pierced the hull. Watch your step, Haley said. The ship groaned and creaked as he and Ava clambered toward the cockpit. Ava looked up to see hordes of knife jacks crammed into the top of the wreck. She waved the smudge stick around and waited for a warning sign from the aggressive creatures, but none came. Haley noticed an upturned crate of provisions. He got down on his knees and flipped the crate over to inspect its contents. I don't trust Caruncle, he whispered. Ava knelt down next to Haley. Is it because he's an alien? No, it's because he's a jerk. Are you sure you aren't just upset because... Because what? Haley stopped rummaging. You know, because the Bijou is gone? Ava kept her eyes focused on the spilled contents from the crate. Haley pointed toward the camp. I'm upset because this guy's going to trade off pieces of my ship. Oh, you mean like how you traded me for parts? Ava stood. I'm done looking for your Omnipod now. Haley ran his dirty hands over his head. You're right. I told you before that I was sorry about that. What more do you want? He gave Ava a rueful grin. You want to punch me again? Go ahead. Ava folded her arms and eyed Haley. Go on. Haley pulled down his jacket sleeve to reveal his bare arm. Give it your best shot. It was hard for Ava to conceal her smile at Haley's earnest effort to make amends. Come on, let's go see if the ship's transmitter's working, she said. They continued on through the hold, their silence broken by occasional chirps from the knife jacks. Rest, watch, rest, Ava heard them say. I know you're worried about Lorak finding you, Haley spoke softly as they climbed through the galley. But going to the ruins, I can think of a lot of safer places to hide until the battle is over. You're right. Trust me, it's the last place I really want to go. So why? What's there? He yanked the door to the cockpit partially open. In the hold, the new inhabitants chittered at the disruption. Ava thrust the smudge stick through the open door to allow the smoke to waft up. The knife jacks did not move from their roost. Haley pushed the door completely open, and Ava followed him into the cockpit. Though tilted sideways, the cockpit was devoid of any large debris. An acrid odor burned Ava's eyes and nose. Ew, what is that? Haley fanned his face with his hands. Ava looked up. A large congregation of knife jacks were huddled in the top of the cockpit, next to the opening in the loose windshield. It's guano. She waved the smudge stick around in an effort to burn off the pungent smell, but it had no effect. They stumbled from the cockpit and into the galley, gasping for air. I'm going back in. Haley took a deep breath and stomped back into the cockpit. With his nose buried in the crook of his arm, Haley frantically inspected the flight controls. He flipped switches repeatedly and banged on buttons. Finally, he staggered back out. It's no good, he coughed. The transmitter's all gummed up with guano. He kicked one of the food dispensers. A heap of susta bars spilled out from it. Is there any other place your spare omnipod could be? I looked everywhere. Haley gestured toward the thrashed hold of the ship. I don't know where it is. I'm sorry, but we can't stay here much longer. Ava stood to leave. There are things in the forest hunting for you. I know. You don't think they'll find you at the ruins? He knelt down next to the broken dispenser and began filling his pockets with susta bars. Ava dropped her voice to a low whisper. I think Zin is hiding in the ruins. Zin? Who's Zin? Ava shushed him. He's Lorok's brother. He works in the museum for Queen Ojo. Why do you want to find him? Haley scooted to the next dispenser and emptied it. Keep your voice down. If anyone can stop Lorok, it's Zin. He's really smart, like Cadmus. Great, let's free from one evil genius into the clutches of another, said Haley. I think Zin would stop Lorok if he knew the truth. Ava began to climb back down into the hold. Do you trust him? I don't know that I have much of a choice. She stopped in the middle of the hold. She remembered the first time she had set foot on this ship, giddy from the opportunity that it held. Ava remembered brave Huxley bidding her farewell and giving his life to save hers. I want us to return to our families, and I want this conflict to end. Cadmus must be stopped, and so must Lorok. I thought Arius would help, but she's gone. Zin is the only hope we have. Hope's a dangerous thing. Haley peered up at the wreckage that had once been his ship. I've seen firsthand what it's done to the people at the Toilers' camp. People who hoped to live a fruitful life in the forest far from New Attica, and found out the hard way that it can't be done. Hope is all I've got, Ava said, and exited the ship. Here's the picture for Chapter 8. Can you guys see this? You said you can't see it? Okay, 1 second.